Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, El Shai, Ba'ashem, El Rakak, Dash. Double honors unto the apostle, the elder apostles of great millstone who rule well, and shalom to the hopeful elect. It's Paya Allah. This is a commentary or read through of Judges, the second chapter, and it reads, and an angel of the Lord Yahweh came up from Gilgal to Bochum, and said, I made you to go up out of Egypt, and have brought you unto the land which I swear unto your fathers. And I said, I will break my covenant with you, and ye shall make no league, Slakia, and I will never break my covenant with you. And ye shall make no league with the inhabitants of this land. Ye shall throw down their altars, but ye have not obeyed my voice. Why have ye done this? Wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out from before you, but they shall be as thorns in your sides, and their gods shall be a snare unto you. And it came to pass, when the angel of the Lord Yahweh spake these things unto the children of Israel, that the people lifted up their voice and wept, and they called the name of the place Bochum, and they sacrificed there unto the Lord Yahweh. And when Joshua had let the people go, the children of Israel went every man unto his inheritance, and to possess the land. And the people served the Lord Yahweh all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders that outlived Joshua, who had seen all the great works of the Lord Yahweh that he did for Israel. And Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord Yahweh, died, being 110 years old. And this is quite funny, man, or ironic. I've just done a video dealing with High Priest Ariah, and his passing on, all right, transitioning to the spiritual realm, and how it's a signal of things to come, and this actual chapter speaks to that to a T, all right. Who we believe that High Priest Ariah is one of his former incarnates was Joshua, all right, the son of Nun. So anyway, reading on verse 9. And they buried him in the border of his inheritance in Tim Nepheres, in the mount of Ephraim, on the north side of the hill of Gaash. And also all the generation were gathered unto their fathers, and there arose another generation. Now, when you deal with this, you go to Matthew, the first chapter, it speaks to the various generations, or the genealogy of Yahushua, which genealogy generation one and the same. So one of the key generations being of that generation of Moses, Joshua, all right, Aaron the high priest, all right, that was a monumental generation, all right, just like the generation before that, the generation of the fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You have monumental generations that come about and basically set a precedent and set a tone going forward, all right? So it shows you when they're around, there's a vibration that is, oscillating from them, and it sets a tone, nationwide in the midst of all the people, all right? And that speaks to that nature. Okay, so anyway, reading on, verse 11. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord Yahweh, and served Balaam. And they forsook the Lord Yahweh, power of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other powers or gods of the people that were round about them, and bowed themselves unto them, and provoked the Lord Yahweh to anger. And they forsook the Lord Yahweh, and served Baal and Ashtaroth. All right, so they basically, that with the passing of that great generation, what happened is the generations that came after, they succumbed to the curse that was presented by Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, being of that, if you follow the ways of my teachings, you'll be blessed. But also what was said, earlier on in the chapter, that because you didn't do what I said, these nations are going to become thorns in your side. And as you can see, they became thorns because their lifestyles, their ways of being, basically was as Israel, the generation that came after, grew with these nations round about. They basically took a liking to their ways, and basically openly them being thorns in the side, they succumbed to their ways. So anyway, verse 14, and the anger of the Lord Yahweh was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers that spoiled them, and he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies. Right? So that their power, because they moved away from their power, they became more weaker and weaker to the point where the nations round about, all right, those high fives and those smiles in their faces, they basically, when they saw an opportunity, they didn't forget the things that Israel had done, all right? They didn't forget how they got up in the land, and they basically acted upon that opportunity. Verse 15, whether so they went out, the hand of the Lord Yahweh was against them for evil, and the Lord Yahweh had said, and as the Lord Yahweh had said, and as the Lord Yahweh had sworn unto them, and they were greatly distressed. Nevertheless, the Lord Yahweh raised up judges and delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. All right, and this more or less acts. I like this little chapter, these verses of this chapter, because it acts as if like an epilogue to the first chapter, to really the whole first 5 books, right, of everything, not only to the entering in of the kingdom, the land of Israel, but then also as a prologue to the things that are going to happen within this chapter, right, like an expounding upon these different acts that happen, whereby the Heavenly Father raised up judges. All right, so verse 17. Hold on, actually. Verse 15. Whethersoever they went out, the hand of the Lord. No, verse 16. Nevertheless, the Lord Yahweh raised up judges that delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. And yet they would not hearken unto their judges, but they went a whoring after other powers, all right, or other gods. And that's how you see it, where that generation, that judge would have a strong grip on that generation. Then the moment he passes on, and all those that were of some standing, they basically reverted back to the ways of, lewdness and wickedness, and bowed themselves unto them, and they turned quickly out of the way which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of the Lord Yahweh. But they did not so. And when the Lord Yahweh raised them up judges, when the Lord Yahweh was with the judge and delivered them out of the hand of their enemies, all the days of the judge, for all the days of the judge, for it repented the Lord Yahweh because of their groanings by reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them. And it came to pass, when the judge was dead, that they returned and corrupted themselves more than their fathers, in following other gods to serve them and to bow down unto them. They ceased not from their own doings, nor from their stubborn way. All right, so it's basically saying everything I just said. They basically, the judge was around. They were getting fucked up. The Heavenly Father raised up a judge. They patterned themselves after the way of the judge that showed them a righteous way. Then the moment he passed, they went back to doing what they were doing before. All right, verse 20. And the anger of the Lord Yahweh was hot against Israel, and he said, because that this people have transgressed my covenant, which I commanded their fathers, and have not hearkened unto my voice, I also will not henceforth drive out any from before them of the nations which Joshua left when he died, that being fools in their side, that through them I may prove Israel whether they will keep the way of the Lord Yahweh to walk therein, as their fathers did keep it, or not. Therefore the Lord Yahweh left those nations without driving them out hastily, neither delivered he them into the hand of Joshua. So with that, I pray you're edified to the next one. Shalom. Shalom.